lowest, greatest, highest, I will come to thee.
Every year around springtime, it seems that the ants start a new mission to invade any place that they can find a crumb or two. Sometimes they make their way into your homes and make a pest of themselves, and usually have to put out ant traps or some kind of chemical to keep them out. While this can be a big nuisance, Solomon praises the pesky ants for their steadfastness and strong work ethic. In Proverbs 6 and verse 6, it says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no captain, overseer or ruler, provides her supplies in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come upon you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man." Solomon uses the ant as an example of how we are to be diligent in whatever we do. It is amazing to watch one of God's busiest creatures at work. They take advantage of every opportunity to prepare their home for the days when it is not fit to work. They explore their area looking for food to carry it back to their homes so they can store it. When things get in their way, they just figure out a way to move around it. If we want to use our time wisely, we must learn from the ant and take advantage of the time we have, whether it be laboring for our family or for the kingdom of God. As Paul said, we need to redeem the time because the days are evil. Ephesians 5 and verse 16. Jesus believed in this principle as well because he said, "I must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. The night is coming when no one can work." John 9 and verse number 4. Jesus knew his work would be short on the earth, so he pressed forward daily to serve the Father and prepared his disciples to carry out his work. The night Jesus speaks of is referring to death when no one can work. Solomon also teaches his son that the sluggard who simply folds his hands and sleeps all the time will not be successful in this life. He will find himself in want and deep poverty. The lazy will find themselves envying what the diligent has. Clearly, it is much wiser to be a diligent worker with the time we have instead of being a lazy worker. What Solomon taught his son reminds me of the Aesop fable concerning the grasshopper. The story goes like this. One bright day in the late autumn, a family of ants were bustling about in the warm sunshine, drying out grain they had stored up during the summer, when a starving grasshopper with his fiddle under his arm came up and humbly begged for a bite to eat. "What?" cried the ants in surprise. "Haven't you stored anything away for the winter? What in the world were you doing all last summer?" "I didn't have time to store up any food," whined the grasshopper. "I was so busy making music that before I knew it, the summer was gone." The ants shrugged their shoulders in disgust. "Making music, were you?" they cried. "Very well, now dance." And they turned their backs on the grasshopper and went on with their work. We can learn the same Bible lesson from this Aesop fable and from the wisdom of Solomon. Let us learn from the ant to be good stewards of our time and to take advantage of the time we have while our health is good and we have some money to do great things for the Lord. It does not matter who you are. Eventually your health and resources may not be there. But when you do what you can for the Lord while you are able, it will bring you comfort when the days or years come when you cannot do much for God and His kingdom. So do not be like the lazy grasshopper and take the time you have right now for granted, because tomorrow may be too late. While we may not like those pesky ants when they invade our homes, we must learn from their steadfastness and strong work ethic as we continue to labor in the Lord's vineyard as we look forward to the day that we will get to be with God for eternity. I hope you will never become discouraged or think that your labor in the Lord's kingdom is in vain, because it is not. As Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 58, "Therefore, my beloved brethren, be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the way of the Lord, knowing that your labor is not in vain in the Lord." So keep pressing forward in your life, just like those pesky ants.